Unstoppable Coco Gauff, crowned 2025 WTA Player of the Year. The rise of tennis's youngest queen. In the electrifying world of women's tennis, 2025 became the year of a seismic shift. A year when the sport witnessed not just the rise of a champion, but the coronation of a young queen. Coco Gauff, once hailed as a prodigy of American tennis, completed her transformation into a global icon, securing the coveted title of 2025 WTA Player of the Year. Her story is one of courage, grit, evolution, and the unmistakable roar of destiny. This is a journey of how a teenager with big dreams became the unstoppable force who redefined the future of the game. A season that sparked a new era. From the first ball struck in January to the final point played in November, Coco Gauff's 2025 season unfolded like a cinematic masterpiece, crafted through sweat, heartbreak, and triumph. She didn't just outplay opponents. She outgrew doubts, outperformed expectations, and outshined every narrative that tried to hold her back. Her season was a tapestry woven with comebacks, statement wins, emotional breakthroughs, and championship moments that left crowds breathless. She elevated her power. She sharpened her mind. She embraced her identity as a leader. And by the end of the year, there was no debate. Coco Gauff wasn't merely part of the conversation. She was a headline. The Australian Spark, a semi-final that changed the tone. Coco's journey began in the blazing Australian summer. She reached the semi-finals of the Australian Open, her highest finish yet in Melbourne, where she delivered a string of commanding performances. She defeated top 10 players with a blend of athleticism and intelligence that stunned the tennis world. Her backhand, known for its ferocity, had matured into a weapon so precise that commentators began calling it the Gauff laser. But it wasn't just her game that evolved. It was her mindset. In her post-match interview after a grueling quarterfinal victory, she said something that became the mantra of her season. "I'm not chasing perfection anymore. I'm chasing purpose." That shift, the moment she stopped playing to silence critics and started playing for herself, changed everything. It lit the fuse. Clay battles and character forged in fire. Clay courts have always tested the world's finest. Coco returned to Europe, ready not just to compete, but to conquer. In Madrid and Rome, she delivered some of the most physically demanding performances of her career. Sliding across burnt red courts, she displayed a warrior spirit that reminded fans of champions like Sharapova and Henin, but with Gauff's own signature resilience. Her semifinal run at Roland Garros became a defining chapter in her year. Her showdown with IGA Swiatek, the reigning queen of clay, was a match that would echo through the stadium for years. Swiatek won, but Coco walked away with something more valuable: belief. She had stood toe-to-toe with the greatest clay court player of her generation and played with a courage that left Parisian fans chanting her name. For Coco, Paris wasn't defeat. It was an awakening. Grass, where confidence took root, though she didn't capture the Wimbledon crown. Coco's grass season solidified her status as one of the tour's most complete players. Her footwork, quick, sharp, almost balletic, made her dangerous on the slippery surface. She launched deep runs, collected meaningful wins, and proved she could adapt her aggressive baseline game to soft, unpredictable turf. This portion of the year wasn't about titles. It was about proving she wasn't a one-surface wonder. She wasn't a hard-court specialist. She was a universal force. The American Summer, a queen's homecoming. When Coco returned home for the North American hardcourt swing, she arrived as a different athlete, stronger, wiser, and more intimidating. She toured through the WTA 1000s in Toronto and Cincinnati like a woman possessed. In Cincinnati, especially, she delivered a championship run for the ages, dispatching multiple top 10 players with a level of command that left analysts declaring her the favorite for the upcoming U.S. Open. By the time she stepped into New York, Coco Gauff wasn't just a tennis star. She was the heart of American tennis. Fans packed Arthur Ashe Stadium, wearing shirts that read, "Coco's Court. The Queen has arrived. Gauff era," and she lived up to it. Her U.S. Open run was fierce, highlighted by a miraculous comeback in the quarterfinals and a dominant semifinal display. She reached the final with the weight of a nation on her shoulders. She didn't lift the trophy, but her performance solidified one truth: New York wasn't waiting for a queen. It already had one. A rivalry renaissance. Battles that defined an era. What makes Coco's rise so powerful is not just her solo brilliance, but the rivalries that shaped her. Iga Swiatek taught her patience. Aryna Sabalenka taught her courage. Elena Rybakina taught her precision. Emma Raducanu taught her adaptability. Jessica Pegula taught her composure. Match by match, opponent by opponent, Coco evolved into the most complete version of herself. Every rivalry strengthened her. Every loss sharpened her. Every win elevated her story. By the end of the season, it was clear she wasn't chasing the top players anymore. They were chasing her. The WTA Finals, a coronation under the lights. Coco Gauff's most majestic moment arrived in November under the glittering lights of the WTA Finals. She entered the tournament as one of the favorites, but she left it as the undisputed queen. In the group stage, she swept through opponents with ruthless efficiency. In the semifinal, she delivered a breathtaking thriller that cemented her reputation as one of tennis's greatest competitors. And in the final, played with the calm of a champion and the hunger of a newcomer, she outclassed a top rival to lift the biggest title of her year. A leader, a voice, a symbol. Off the court, Coco Gauff continued to shine in ways champions rarely do. She advocated for mental health. She championed equality. She uplifted voices younger than hers. She remained humble, grounded, and committed to her community. She wasn't just a champion. She was a role model, a leader, a force. She showed the world that power and kindness can coexist beautifully, fiercely, and unapologetically. The road ahead, a reign just beginning. Coco Gauff stands now at the edge of a new era, not just in her career, but in the sport itself. As she steps into the 2026 season, she does so as white heavy checkmark, the face of modern tennis, white heavy checkmark, the standard every rival must reach, white heavy checkmark, the queen every young player dreams of becoming, white heavy checkmark, the champion millions cheer for. Her rule is not built on dominance alone, but on evolution, constantly improving, constantly challenging herself, constantly welcoming the future. And that is why the tennis world believes the Coco Gauff era has only just begun. Conclusion: a queen worth her crown. Unstoppable is not just a word for Coco Gauff. It is her identity, her energy, her destiny. In 2025, she rose above the noise, the expectations, and the pressure to claim the greatest honor of her career so far. She did it with grace, power, passion, and unwavering belief. She was not just Crown Player of the Year. She earned it. She embodied it. She became it. And as she lifts her trophy high, bathed in golden light, one message resonates across the tennis universe. Long live the youngest queen of tennis. Long live Coco Gauff. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.